The eyes of America are upon you because you have the power in your hands. This is a very serious deal. You have the power to say no to this totally scandalous, unlawful, unconstitutional Democrat gerrymandering scheme that they're trying to push upon this state. You get to say no.
That's House Speaker Mike Johnson urging Virginia voters to reject what he calls an unconstitutional Democratic redistricting measure. Current versus proposed districts reveal sweeping statewide changes in Virginia that Republicans call a political bait and switch. A current 6-5 Democratic edge in the House of Representatives in Virginia could shift to a 10-1 advantage if voters approve this redistricting. Let's bring in Virginia Republican Congressman Rob Wittman. Congressman, you represent District 1, I believe. What would happen in your district if this plan goes through?
Well, it would become an overwhelmingly Democrat district. It would disenfranchise voters across most of the geographic area of the district. John, it would take the rural areas and essentially isolate them from the population center, which would be in Northern Virginia. And if you look at communities of interest, which is how districts are supposed to be drawn, there is zero community of interest in what happens with farming, fishing, and forestry there in the southern portion, the rural portion of the district, versus the urban areas of Alexandria and Arlington. So it is a complete silencing of the voices of over 2.1 million voters across the Commonwealth of Virginia. It disenfranchises them, creates a partisan power grab, and really harms Virginia. It is, I believe, something that the voters are going to soundly reject. The voters actually back in 2020 said yes to bipartisan redistricting. In fact, that took place, and it was identified as one of the most bipartisan redistricting efforts across the nation. This now is being identified as the most partisan gerrymander in the past 25 years across the nation anywhere.
Yeah, former Governor Glenn Youngkin, talks about that, talks about the success of what happened a few years ago versus what is proposed now. Listen.
Well, this all started 6 years ago in Virginia when there was a constitutional amendment on the ballot to remove politicians from drawing maps and to create an independent redistricting commission that was overwhelmingly approved by Virginians. 2/3 said we want politics out. And the maps that were drawn have been rated as among the fairest in the nation. And now we see progressive Democrats in Richmond trying to overturn the will of the people and gerrymander maps that are now being called the most gerrymandered maps in the nation.
So who loses if this proposal goes through?
Well, Virginia loses and Virginians lose across the state. If you look at how they're concentrating power in the northern part of the state, it disenfranchises rural areas. It disenfranchises voters that have a different viewpoint other than the Democrats that would be elected in 10 of these 11 districts, John. It is unbelievable that they're even attempting this. And I can tell you, as I travel across the Commonwealth, and I was with the governor and the speaker yesterday, people are resoundingly saying this is not fair. And especially for those folks outside the population centers. It even takes Northern Virginia and it cuts it up into 5 very, very distinct areas there. And we know that that Northern Virginia area has nothing in common with the rural areas and the farming, fishing, and forestry areas that are in the other parts of the state that are now connected to these incredibly gerrymandered districts.
Of course, newly elected Governor Abigail Spanberger, her poll numbers have taken a significant nosedive since she took office. She is not worried about that, she says. Listen to the governor.
I would say, if everybody hated me, why is everybody putting my face on their mailers for the referendum? And I would just note that, those critiques seem to run at odds with the fact that, everybody thinks I'm a convincing character in whichever way they want that referendum vote to go. Which, for the record, the misinformation is strong. I voted yes and encourage other Virginians to do the same.
Well, everybody might be putting her face on the mailers if they don't like this referendum idea.
John, that's exactly why they're putting her face on the mailers. This is the ultimate bait and switch. All through the campaign, she said, I'm against this gerrymander. Before she said gerrymandering is detrimental to democracy. And I agree with her wholeheartedly. And then she does a 180-degree switch. So the reason people are putting her face on these mailers is because they're showing people how inconsistent she is in what she's saying. In fact, I would call it, or my dad would call it, a lie. She is not truthful with people about what this is all about. It's really incredible that she believes that somehow the people in Virginia are going to let her get away with this. I believe that this is the very foundation of why people are not happy with her, because integrity counts when you are a leader in elected office, and this cuts right to her integrity when she says one thing and does something else. And it's not just this. It's other things that she's done as governor. So I think this is just the canary in the coal mine for Governor Spanberger and what she has done in this incredible bait and switch scheme that she's perpetrating now.
We are going to continue to watch what happens in this redistricting fight in Virginia. Virginia Congressman Rob Wittman, thank you.
Thanks, John.
Be sure to like and subscribe for all the Fox News latest on YouTube and catch full shows streaming now on Fox One.